John Skeet and Colin Jones, the driving force collectively of Mithril. Welcome back to the Arlington Rapallo.
Pleasure to be here again, Simon.
Thanks for coming back. What do you think? Is it better or worse than last year?
I think it's better. The shade's good.
Yeah, it's not quite so much sun in the eyes. What's changed at Mithril in a year?
Done a lot in the last year. So we've raised quite a bit of money. We've got a good cash balance in the bank now, around 20 million Aussie dollars. So we've now put together a really good geological team. We built it up over the last 6 months. So we've got 8 geologists on site, new exploration manager, heap of mapping and sampling all over the district. We've still got a lot more work to do, but we've got half a dozen good drill targets developing now and another 6 that we're going to do a bit of work on. So 2 drills drilling. We brought a second drill in April and planning to bring a 3rd drill early next year. So we've got a good work program ahead of us over the next 12 months, fully funded to do it.
Right.
We're sort of really a pivotal time, next 12 months for the project and for Mithril.
And John, if I think about what's happened in the world of listed silver gold companies in the last year, Mithril's share price is about the same as it was when you were here a year ago. The silver price, the gold price have gone up since then. Is that because you have not yet made a major new discovery, or why would you say that is?
Look, we're still in that building up, doing the groundwork. That's really important there. So when we looked at this, what we'd done there to date, up until we were fully funded to do our work program around November last year, we knew that we had to do the boots on the ground type work to make sure that when we do drill, when we do get through drills there, we do properly drill. We understand the geometry of the system there, the faulting. It's quite complex geologically, but there's huge potential there. So we don't want to miss that opportunity. So it's like the old stitch in time saves 9, So we're under Colin's guidance there. He's seen a lot of these things and how they progress and knows not what not to do and how to do it properly. So that's why we've invested in people and processes. We've done the LiDAR. We're planning to do some aerial mag survey of the district next month. So we're building up all that valuable geological data. We know we've got a big district and there's gold and silver historic workings all over the district. So really now we're at that point where we can prove it now with the drill bit over the next 12 months. And I think that's where we'll see the change in the re-rating on the share price.
I think if you remember, we had that incredible bonanza drill intercept this time last year.
Right.
That drove the share price up, which is always going to be a hard act to follow.
Yeah.
So that's part of it too.
Yeah. So Colin, if anyone's in charge of figuring out where to find the good stuff, that would be you. That's sort of keeping an eye on that expanding team of geologists. How close do you think Mithril is to making a significant additional discovery to the existing valuable project?
I think we're close. As John mentioned, we have a large field team and we've done a lot of mapping and sampling now, so we're getting a really good picture of what geology is. We've got outsourced database management and 3-dimensional modeling functions. We've got internal resource estimation going on with the QP that we're using. We've hired a on-site exploration manager from Canada who's running the program. So the last few months have been building that team up and getting that basic geology mapping done. We're now ready. We're drilling in what we call Target 5 right now, which is looking promising. We're just starting to get some results in now. We have high hopes for that.
How does Target 5 compare to the existing resource in Target 1?
It's different. It's lower elevation and higher temperature. So it's in an intrusion. The veins are more consistent. There's higher base metals, higher silver values than further up at Refugio. The Refugio, it's probably true to say that we are struggling a little bit with those bonanza-grade continuity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of faulting. There's a lot of brecciation. We're modeling that up as best we can, and we're still drilling that because we're extending it now to the west and we're extending it down dip to the east as well. There is a linkage structure between that and the Saragossa and Macopaquin mine, which also a slightly lower elevation, and that structure actually runs back up to higher elevations at the San Manuel mine, which is one of the biggest producers there. So that's a 2-kilometer strike length now that we're regarding as a good target. And we have target 3, which we are about to push to get a 3rd rig in to push the button and start drilling now. So,
And that's probably a bigger area than what Target 1 is, where we had the resource there. Yeah.
yes.
So target 5 and target 3 are potentially bigger targets than target 1.
On the ground so far, what we have as far as workings, what we've mapped there and what we've sampled there, they're big areas. And then we're right up at target 6, which is right up the northeast corner of the district, 8 kilometers from target 5, and about 1,200 meters higher elevation. We've got it's very gold rich up there. We've got an ounce or so in the old veins that were mined in a 3-level mine at Santa Cruz that we've just sampled.
Yeah.
And so we've got this gold silver distribution from the northeast corner, very gold rich, getting down to the southwest lower elevation, more silver rich and more base metals coming in. So we've got a big developed system there that's from all the surface sampling and all the old workings.
And a question for both of you, Colin and John. Like, I know you've both worked around the world, and Colin, you have a lot of other geological consultancy roles you provide. What are the opportunities in the Mithril geological package today compared to your experience, John, historically at Palmarejo, and Colin, the other geological projects that you see around the world? How big could it be, and how far along in that discovery curve is Mithril?
Well, yeah, as far as compared to, say, Palmarejo, for example, I mean, it's district scale like Palmarejo is. Palmarejo was a much easier walk-up drill target in that we could drive everything in there. We had 7 rigs there working within a year. So it was very quickly to get on the discovery there, but at that first target area in the Palmarejo district. But it's become a multi-mine district. So Core has now developed a number of mines in that district there. It's become now, no drilling when Bolnisi went there in 2003, 4.5 million ounces of gold and 270 million ounces of silver. And what's the standout with Copperkin is that the gold grades are much higher relative to the silver all over the district. So we've got probably we're sort of spoiled for choice a bit in Copperkin, is that we've got a lot of really good looking targets. So we just got to make sure we prioritize our drilling and we don't waste our opportunity to drill this over the next 12 months. We do it intelligently, and we build a resource base.
It's like going to a gut bar when there's lots of beautiful girls. You've got to choose which one you go and buy a drink with first, Joe.
Something that you've obviously had a bit of experience with, Simon. So
it was like that down at the Excelsior pool I heard earlier today, John. Colin, I've heard it said in Canadian circles, as Mithril's, John's taken the trouble to move to Vancouver in Mexico in the last year, and he's got some new Canadian followers, that Mithril is a bit like that other Canadian silver gold company, Vizsla, run by that slightly interesting cat, Craig Parry. Is Mithril a bit like a Vizsla, or what other ore bodies can we think of that would be analogues maybe?
Obviously it is like Vizsla. It's not very far away, and it's in the Sierra Madre, and it's the same epithermal environment. So there are obvious similarities there. I think Copperquin is at a higher elevation than Vizsla is, and that's why the gold grades are higher.
Is that because it's a kilometre altitude difference? Is that?
Yeah. So there'll be some faulting that's influencing this, but I actually haven't seen an epithermal system that's continuously mineralized for over 1,000 meters vertically, which is what we have from target 5, as John was saying, down in the south west up to the northeast at Santa Cruz. Now, our view is that, well, when Mithril started, they drilled straight away and put a resource together very quickly, but not much else was done in our district. And I think the secret to finding a big deposit, something that's feeding this 10-kilometer valley, is going to be putting the geology together, doing the aeromagas. John suggests we're running a lot of spectral scanning work and putting the epithermal model together. The similarities I see, if you want to get out of Mexico, would be the Coromandel Peninsula, the Waihee area in New Zealand. Okay, it's very similar. It's over a large area, 10 kilometers long, over 1,000 meters in height. So, as John has mentioned, it would be a mistake to start drilling high-grade obvious workings without an understanding of the structural complexity in that the evolution of the epithermal system is there.
Gotcha. So using the bar analogy and the beautiful lady, you want to meet her mother first to make sure that she's the right
I
one.
want to talk to them all.
Okay.
And,
Okay, all the
find out where
ladies.
they live.
Okay, yeah.
You know, all that. Yeah, what their families are like, how much
Yeah.
money they have.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
before I make any kind of decision.
Sure, that makes, I totally get that. Totally get that, yeah. Otherwise you could end up with a, you know,
Who knows?
yeah, bad scenario. So then, back to the question in terms of where are we in the discovery curve? How close do you think Mithril might be, having put together this homework on how the system fits together, to then actually going and testing your theories on these new targets?
I think it could be any time over the next 12 months, you know, by having 2 drills actively there now. You know, the modelling work that's been done by our external consultant, and understanding that resource we have at Target 1, you know, why is that there? What has fed that? Where has it come from? We're sort of getting all that, everything is sort of coming together in pieces. And so anytime over the next 4 months, you know, we might be ready to test that and find out that district sort of scale type geologic model there for the system to prove that up. And then we can just sort of demonstrate we understand why we know we've got this widespread gold and silver mineralization all over the 70 square kilometer district.
Okay. And John, there's 5 targets that you've named so far. What are you most excited about in terms of a target, and when do we hear results from that?
I think, well, we've just done the first 5 holes at Target 5, waiting for the results on those. You know, we've hit the type of structures we wanted to hit, and we've projected those down dip of the surface sampling that we released a couple of months ago. So that's been successful in that regard. We need to see the assays now and see what's down there.
When do they come?
We're still waiting, you know, they've been with the lab for a while now, so everything's a bit slow. Maybe over the next couple of weeks, we might see some numbers that we can put out. Yeah, so we want to get half a dozen holes there that we can put out and put it all into context, you know, not just one hole at a time. And so that's, you know, we had some good success at Zaragoza, which is a bit higher elevation down the valley up towards Target 1. We had a nice intercept there. There was 4.5 kilos of silver and 6 grams gold in that intercept there. So it's good to see that high grade mineralization persisting. That was 160 meters down dip of the workings, where we had good mapping and sampling results there at Zaragoza. So we know that the system is persisting, and we just need to get that geometry right, understand the faulting that we've worked out from the LiDAR high resolution survey we did last year. So that's Colin's, you know, done a lot of work on that, interpreting that, building up the bigger picture geologic model. And that's going to be, because we know we've got a big system there. And I think within the next 12 months, we're going to have some success in demonstrating that we know where that feeder system is that's created this widespread gold and silver.
Gotcha. Colin, what would be your answer to that? Like, which of the targets do you like the best, and when will we get results back?
Yeah, I think as John says, Target 5 will get results back shortly. We're successfully extending the resource at Target 2, although it's been slower than we'd hoped. We start drilling Target 3 soon, but by the end of the year. I'd be very disappointed if we're sitting here next year and we don't have a, you know, the whole epithermal field pretty well interpreted and quite accurately. So
good. And so Target 5, Target 3, which of the targets, Target 1, which of the targets do you like the best?
That's a good question. I think Target 5 I like a lot because it has potential to have a lot of tons in it. Those veins are very consistent. Target 1's got phenomenal grades, and I think Target 3 is going to be bigger and similar to Target 1. So probably if you're going to ask me for one, I'd go with Target 3. We haven't drilled it yet.
Okay, interesting. Guys, is there anything else we should know about Mithril before you're back here on the Italian Riviera next year?
Well, yeah, just watch the progress. I think you know, we've done all the groundwork there, and we're continuing to do it. We'll have 3 drills there, so we'll have good news flow coming out next 6 months, and then the next 6 months, first 6 months of next year,
we should be able to get some reconnaissance work done on the parallel east-west epithermal system to the north, which no one's been to yet.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to get some work done up there.
Yeah, so there's like 3 or 4 trends of mineralization that run right across the district for 10 kilometers.
Gotcha.
So we haven't been up in that northern section yet. So we'll be doing early next year when everything dies off a bit, it gets a bit drier, the vegetation goes away, we can get up there and do some field work up there, and I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised what we find up there. There's been some historic activity there we weren't aware of in the previously. So big alteration zones up there. So that's more upside to the scale of
Okay,
this
for
district.
next year.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for being back to the Arlington Rapallo. Look out for that different cat, Craig Parry, at the bar when you're kind of surveying the local wildlife. He's the sort of bloke you might be at one of those bars, Colin.
Yeah, I kind of follow him around, actually.
Oh, gee. Okay. You might. You never know where you might find him. Thanks for coming back. I look forward to
It was a pleasure,
the drill
Simon.
bit
Thanks for
too.
having us here.
Thanks, Simon.